This is ANN News Brief.
A Sudanese doctors group says at least 7 persons have been killed and several seriously wounded in a day of demonstrations against continued military rule in Sudan. Tens of thousands of protesters rallied across the country calling for a civilian government nearly 3 months after the army forced out the long-ruling autocrat Omar Al-Bashir. Marchers demand the generals who took over power from Al-Bashir make way for civilians. The protesters, some of them waving Sudanese flags, chanted civilian rule, and Bashir's council just fall, targeting General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, the head of the military council. Security forces fired tear gas at the demonstrators. Sunday's protests were the first since early June when security forces violently broke up a protest camp in Khartoum. The opposition says at least 128 were killed, while the government put the death toll at 61. The European Union and several Western countries have called on the generals to avoid bloodshed. Turkey has said on Sunday that 6 of its nationals were being held by Libyan force and vowed to respond to any attacks on its vessels or interests. Turkish Foreign Ministry said in a statement it will consider what it called Field Marshal Khalifa Haftar's legal militia forces to be legitimate targets if the Turks are not released. Earlier, Turkish Defense Minister Hulusi Akar said there would be heavy consequences to any hostile attitude or attacks. His comment came after a spokesman for Haftar's self-styled Libyan National Army called Turkish assets in Libya legitimate targets, accusing Turkey of helping rival militias allied with the UN-supported government. Haftar's forces have received aid from Egypt, the United Arab Emirates, Russia, and France. Akar said Turkey was in Libya to support regional peace and stability. Stay with us. We'll be back after this short break. Four South Africans are training to become the first all-female African team to climb the world's tallest peak. Dashun Dassel, Lisa Garing, Tumi Mafalele, and Alda Waddle are training on the sandstone cliffs of South Africa's Drakensberg Mountains. They hope that next year they can become the first team of African women to conquer Mount Everest. The women say they are inspired by South African business executive Sari Khumalo, who in May became the first black African woman to climb the world's highest mountain, which stands at almost 9,000 meters tall. Each team member does her own intensive mental and physical training, along with group sessions to prepare for the difficult climb. That's ANN News Brief. Thanks for watching. For details on these and other breaking stories, visit our website, annafrica.news. Conversation continues on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at ANN Africa TV. I am Lucy Adeyemi.